Man punches cop and bites off his friend's entire nipple. Youch.
Antifa attacks Christians in Portland to end fascism.
Parrots can't stop saying funky music.
Hawk catches rabbit and then gets destroyed by deer. Epic.
And Frank Turek is going to answer every question Google has about God.
All this and more in
The Bee Weekly.
Conservative ideas are no longer welcome on most college campuses, or anywhere else for that matter. If you're a conservative college student or professor, then you already know what I'm talking about. If you're hungry for great conservative ideas, look no further. Check out the Conservative Conversations with ISI podcast today. Presented by the Intercollegiate Studies Institute, this podcast is a series of in-depth conversations with leading thinkers of the most important issues facing conservatism. Join Johnny Burtcutt and James Davenport and dig into the world of conservative ideas with thinkers like William F. Buckley Jr., C.S. Lewis, Yuval Levin, Ross Douthat, and more. To listen, go to isi.org/podcast/B. That's it, isi.org/podcast/BEE. Don't let them keep you from conservative ideas. Listen today.
Should we play the cross-examined song? Is that what we should start with?
Yeah,
Should we put it on there?
the one that Ethan did.
That was pretty early on that we put that up.
We should have been ready to perform it live.
Yeah.
You know? Get the electric guitar in here.
That was in the old office. I recorded that in my car.
That was recorded mostly in your car, which is amazing.
That must account for the high fidelity.
Yeah,
Right?
that's why it sounded so good.
Have we started?
We're starting.
We're here. We're here.
We're in the
Right.
show, man. The
All
show's
right.
going.
Well, yeah, we could either link it or play it. It's up to you guys. You
You just
decide.
play a little clip.
In the edit. Little clip.
Little clip.
Apologetical assassin, atheist chums getting cross-examined. No time for spaghetti monsters. Try to beat us and you keep monsters. Little punks from your bunk semantics. Out to the laws of thermodynamics. You atheists around the scamming. They about to get cross-examined. Tear you up like a bear with salmon. Wake up, chump, you got cross-examined. Your multiverse is just whack nonsense. Not enough faith to be atheist. Not enough faith to be atheist. Kick it with Robbie Zacharias. Spread them ghosts like a virus. Upon test Tyrannosaur. Crack to rap in the bodies and
Basically, I'd been a fan of Frank Turek's for a while, watching all his Frank Turek owns college student videos. College atheist destroyed by Frank Turek videos, and I noticed he had this hardcore logo, so I felt like he really needed a matching theme song.
It's perfect.
So, yeah. So Frank, you're here in person.
Yes, sir.
We're excited. We love when people are in person.
And we can't say where here is, can we?
Somewhere in California.
No, yeah. We'll,
somewhere on land.
We'll narrow it down to the state.
The state of
Yeah.
California.
The country, yeah. The
All right.
communist country of California.
All right.
Here we are.
Yeah, and you're way taller than I expected.
That's because your phone is only this big.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you watch them on the big screen,
I've
it's still
seen
probably not.
because you're always like you're standing there on the stage, but there's nobody there to compare you to.
Yeah, you should have like a pair on stage so we can
I'd be short next to Shaq, so
size comparison.
there you go.
Yeah,
It's all relative.
for reference.
Yep, everything's relative. We already established that.
We know that.
All right, beautiful.
So this week, we have besides talking to Frank a bunch, and we are going to do some weird news, but we also got some comments. A couple comments on we had a new video with a couple of hateful, racist white guys. Me and Kyle.
Yeah, they're wondering, are they really that racist?
Are we
And they
are we
start to
really
question.
hateful?
And we had some comments on it. So this guy says,
I didn't pick this comment.
This guy says, this G is his name. He says, acting of blonde-haired guy is amazing. I assume that's Ethan.
I'm guessing that's
What
me.
am I? Chopped liver? I mean,
I like the follow-up. This guy replies, he said, yeah, Ethan's a great actor. Watch him as a psycho bayou hunter, which is, Trevor Gudge.
oh, look, here's a nice comment.
But then he says, they're actually both good actors. Kyle is also a great singer.
Which is funny because that was not my
Not
voice.
your voice, yeah.
The John Lennon voice was
That was
not you?
not me.
That was
Brandon.
not you?
That was our cinematographer, Brandon.
Why didn't he do it then? You got.
I asked him
He
if
was
he
in
wanted
it.
to.
He was Yoko Ono in the
We needed him to be Yoko Ono because
because of our other Chinese.
because
we figured he would do a good Yoko.
because you did the bed scene with John and Yoko.
No,
You
we
guys
did
are
not
too
do
young
that.
for that. You don't even know what
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
you don't.
I barely know who Yoko Ono is.
Yeah, she ruined the Beatles. Maybe.
And then another guy, we had R.W. Bambi said, "I don't give two." He quoted, "I don't give two spits worth of chew." What one identifies as, and he says, "Wow, you boys did your research on this one, yes, sir."
So is that a real? Did
Is it
people
because we
from the
know
South-
about chew or
Are
something?
you guys out of North Carolina? Is that-
North Carolina.
So do people
That's
say
right.
that? I assume around.
I don't give two spits of
I-
chew. Did
No,
people say that?
Billy Graham never said that.
No.
Billy Graham never said two spits of chew. He said, "I told Franklin to come over." Now, I don't have the North Carolina accent. If I did, everyone would be saved in North Carolina, but
true.
they're not.
Very sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in a really small town in Oregon, and they would actually hand around a chew cup on the high school bus I would sit on the bus and I'd get the cup of chew, spit, and hand it off. So I'm very familiar with the chaw. I didn't chew myself, but
You just passed the cup.
just pass the cup. You know, it was warm. So yeah,
Charming.
Well,
watch that video if you didn't see it, because I think me and Kyle we're learning how to act a little bit. It's fun and it's funny.
This news is weird.
Hawaii man released from mental hospital where he was imprisoned for almost 3 years after being mistaken for a criminal.
Weird.
So this guy was asleep outside a Honolulu shelter in 2017 on the sidewalk. And a police officer woke him up and mistook him for another man who had an arrest warrant.
I like the guy's name was Thomas Castleberry.
And he insisted,
Not Thomas
"I am not
Castleberry.
Castleberry." And they put him in the mental state hospital. Yeah, sure you're not Castleberry.
He kept saying, "I'm not Castleberry."
Likely
And that
story. Yeah.
that only led to them drugging him more. That's what it did. It's real.
No.
So for 3 years, he's shaking on the
I'm
bar.
not Castle. He's still saying it.
He's still saying it. Hit him again.
It was like, "I'm
delusional.
Spreisterbach." That's his real
Yeah.
name.
Why didn't they accept his identity?
Yeah, he said
That was his identity. I'm not-
Identified not as Castleberry.
Yeah.
Spreisterbach is real name, and then Castleberry, the guy's not. They both sound like drinks.
I drank
Want a Spreisterbach or a Castleberry?
the cool, delicious taste of Castleberry.
Yeah, that's the fruitier one, and
Yeah.
the Spreisterbach is the dark.
Yeah, the
Dark ale.
dark stout ale.
Wow. Look at this. It looks like our government's not communicating very well. It says, turns out Castleberry was in an Alaska prison the whole time. And that's when Spreisterbach was quietly released from the hospital.
Go ahead. And he released into Alaska.
I don't know. Have a nice day.
He now, so Spreisterbach, the real guy, now lives on his sister's 10-acre property and refuses to leave, which with good reason.
Yeah, I think you wouldn't want to really go back.
Never.
to society.
Especially like sleeping on the ground
yeah.
and people interrupting you. I would never sleep again.
Yeah.
I wonder if he identifies as his sister's brother. Maybe that's why he won't leave, right? Maybe he's not really
We can't take Frank
her
anywhere.
sister's brother. I don't know.
It's going to get us in trouble. Man punches off-duty police officer in the face. Bites off guy's nipple in Chicago road rage incident.
Wow.
So Kyle Clark, these guys named Kyle are the
I know
worst.
Kyle's are always bad.
Was driving a black Volkswagen Jetta on Lakeshore Drive. You guys know where that is in Chicago. When he sideswiped another vehicle carrying an off-duty officer and his friend. The officer and his friend pulled up alongside Clark and said, "Hey, pull over," so he could file a crash report. The off-duty officer then identified himself as a police officer. He's like, "I'm a cop." And after the three men exited their vehicles, Clark allegedly punched the off-duty officer twice in the face. Blah, blah. That's a gun. Pow, pow. That could be a gun too. Suck. Then the friend tried to help. Clark attacked him and completely, I like that the completely's in there, completely bit off his nipple.
That leaves, yeah.
So that's
the
just
entire disc
There's just a circle now.
is gone.
Did he swallow it?
Yeah, what happened to it?
Or did he?
Is it missing?
He learned that from Mike Tyson. He must have.
That's
Mike
taking it
Tyson
farther than
approach.
Tyson.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It seems like a nipple would come off easier than an ear.
Well,
Well, no, I don't know. The ear is kind of like,
But it's got all this stuff, like hard that's how I give ears to dogs. You don't go to PetSmart and buy cow nipples for dogs. You buy ears. because they're hard and chewy.
Case closed.
Case closed.
That was a real mic drop
'Cause
argument.
they're going to
there.
just eat the nipple like a jelly bean or something. Not going to be any work.
I won't hear of it. All right. Not going to be any work, right?
All right.
Where do you
Frank,
get this weird new stuff? This is
from the reality?
from reality. Okay, this is really real.
Yeah.
All right. Antifa attacks Christian prayer event in Portland. Christians gather by the thousands to worship anyway. And there's a video.
There's a video. If you haven't seen this video,
Really?
it's pretty crazy. These Antifa guys, they're all showing up in these like fully black clad, weapons or pepper spraying everybody. They threw some explosives. There's children at this thing. They're breaking sound equipment, pepper spraying people. And they're saying this. You can hear them saying they're ending fascism.
They're anti and didn't you guys say that if they don't use the salute that they want you to use, they're going to crush you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Isn't that
A special salute.
Their special salute, and they're the anti-fascists. huh?
Anti-fascists. So imagine how bad fascists are.
Yeah. Antifa uses
Right.
It's crazy.
they use a lot of tactics to stop fascism, like
Yeah.
burning books, marching through the streets, making you do their salute.
Anything,
Beating up people who disagree
anything
with
to
you.
end fascism, I'm on board.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Consolidating power in one guy.
Throwing explosives at children.
That's all valid tactics.
It's all better than fascism.
as long
than
as
real
it's not
fascism.
fascism.
Right.
Because real
Since we're all
fascism is
clear
what
on
we're
the
trying.
definition of fascism.
Yeah.
As long as we're all clear.
And you
I
have-
think we are.
You have to be pro Antifa or else you're anti-Antifa, which means you're pro-fa.
Profa.
Yeah, you don't want to be pro-fa.
Yeah, I'm not profa.
So I watched the videos of this thing, and it's insane. And it looks to me like the Purge movie, or like,
Yeah.
and it's so hard for me to wrap my head around. Like, this is just happening in Portland.
Yeah, it's like the
I've never been to
Purge
Portland.
meets like a documentary about like Baptists or something.
Yeah, they're just
Church camp movie.
like, there's one video where there's a truck driving away, and they're like, "That's one of them. Go get him!" And they all run and throwing like smoke grenades at it,
They're
and
throwing
then
eggs and
it's just-
rocks.
And where were the police?
Yeah, and then that's the crazy thing.
Were
the
they
cops
defunded?
Did not.
They were defunded.
It's
Were they?
Portland.
Yeah.
There was one video of like Antifa going after a Proud Boys guy, and the cops just standing there watching him, like looking off to the side. It's bizarre.
Psycho, man. I mean, well, anything to end fascism, though.
Mm-hmm. That must be it.
Yeah, as long as we stop fascism.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be mistaken for profa.
And look, despite the Antifa goons, the prayer and worship event continued with a large crowd gathering.
Nice. They only made them stronger,
That's right.
probably. I wasn't there.
So you were suggesting that we summon the she bears?
That's where are the two she bears when you need them?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, where are they?
We should have Frank dissect the she bear part. Did we do that before?
I don't remember if we asked him about the she bears.
remember. We
Do you think
talked
it would
about
be justified to call the she
The
bears?
she bears out of the woods?
Yeah, moral.
Were any of these guys
quandary.
prophets?
I don't know if we should go that far. I think maybe I think maybe funding the police might be helpful. What do you think?
It's better than the she bears?
I think so.
Just fund the police.
Yeah, fund the police. We'll leave the she bears in the zoo. Okay.
But if
I think it's wild that all this is still Oregon and a bunch of Christians meeting. There's got to be some Second Amendment people in there.
I saw the guys walking around with rifles, for sure. But,
Yeah, they had to have guns, but I guess they just were being, you didn't want things to escalate too fast.
Even if you bring a rifle, you don't want to be the guy to
Yeah, the guy who
start
shoots
shooting.
first, yeah.
that's
And they're throwing eggs and rocks and stuff, but I guess there wasn't time to shoot yet, but
yeah. Well,
it's the moment you watch it and you just want Batman to swoop in and just start.
yeah. You need a Batman. Yeah.
Just
Like
'cause
Bible
he
Man.
doesn't
We need a
kill.
Christian Batman, like Bible Man.
Yeah, Bible Man came.
Ooh, remember Bible Man?
That's a movie
Yeah, I
right there.
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bible Man.
Bible Man versus Antifa? I'd go to that.
He would.
Let's make the movie trailer.
Let's write it.
Are we ready?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So 5 parrots at a UK zoo had to be separated because they kept encouraging each other to swear at guests. They had to separate these guys, Billy, Eric, Tyson, Jade, and Elsie.
Elsie.
That just sounds like the ragtag
Corrupting
group
the
of
one
macaws.
female parrot, too.
They kept encouraging each other to keep cursing.
Do it again.
The zoo,
Say it.
the zoo says they didn't get any complaints from visitors because most guests actually found it amusing.
Well, it's the UK. Everybody cusses, right? I'm watching Ted Lasso. It's an awesome, hilarious, great show, but it's just full of swearing.
Yeah. Well, and
They
there's
like swear in front of kids there.
and they have different swear words too. So
Yeah.
were these
You don't
British
even know they're
swear
cussing.
words? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not going to say them. Just
I'm not gonna say the British
we
swear
can't
words.
say what they were.
Do we
This
have
is a, this is
British
a family
firemen?
show.
Yeah.
Right?
Like if you say a British swear word, does Dave DeAndrea's voice come over it and
We
say
need a
like
British
trolley?
Can we get Austin or somebody to do like a? I don't know what would he say? Bangers and mash.
Crikey. Yeah. Tally ho.
Is that a British thing? I don't know. Tell you it's good.
So yeah, maybe that's what they need to do with these birds is just take them aside and teach them to say things like flower bed, donkey,
Yeah, not really.
dolphin.
My wife had a
Marshmallow.
bird that said, "Birds can't talk." That was pretty good.
That's good. I
Right?
like that.
Birds can't talk.
Yeah. Interesting.
Is it evidence of evolution that birds can talk?
Everything's evidence of evolution. If you're an evolutionist, you know that. Everything.
Convinced.
You're convinced now, right? I just asserted it. It's true. So
Well, I figure an evolutionist believes every animal can talk at some point. That's why it shouldn't be too shocking that the snake talked. They just figure that's a highly evolved snake.
Isn't that
Probably.
you just stole that from Chesterton, didn't you?
I don't know. I'm so like my pores just ooze Chesterton, so I don't even know when
Disgusting.
I'm saying him.
You should get that checked out.
I have a giant GK Chesterton rash.
yeah, get that off
Check
your
it out.
chest. Get that off your chest. Come on.
Am I up?
You're up.
You're up, man.
Woman drove off California cliff after stranger mistakenly opened her car door. So this is kind of like a series of kind of mishaps. So this guy opened the car door of her car thinking it was his car. It was actually not his car. So we've all done that, right? You think it's your car. And you're like, oh, that's not my car. He opened it. It freaked her out. She thought some guy was going to attack her. So she slammed on the gas with the car in gear and drove off a cliff into the ocean.
That'll teach him.
And
right.
she's okay. She hurt her foot, but she's
That was
okay.
it.
It was purely, I mean, this is like a crazy accident with all innocent, well-meaning people involved.
Which says that a man believed he was opening his wife's car door, which
he thought it was
was
his
a
wife.
similar make and in the next spot over. Yeah. There you go. Happens all the time. See, never open the door for your wife. That's the lesson right there. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
How
Lesson.
far into your marriage do you stop opening the door?
I still open the door for my wife.
Man, we still
Every
do.
time?
No, not every time. Not every time. For sure.
I'll do it on dates and stuff,
on
but it
dates.
gets like,
On dates, yeah.
it gets like almost, they almost get annoyed with you. Like, okay.
Come on.
Isn't
I remember
every-
me saying bless you when they sneeze. You still say bless you. Because my wife sneezes at least 3 times in a row every time she sneezes.
I wait to the end.
Do you
So
wait till the end, or do you give 3?
I kind of
bless
just
you?
stopped because she doesn't seem to, everyone has their love language. I don't think bless you is her love language.
That's, yeah.
But I always wonder with new people, they'll say bless you. I'm like, you gotta wait. She's gonna do it again.
So you're leaving God out of that?
You don't say God bless you.
God bless you. It's implied. God's implied.
Oh, he's implied.
How can you bless somebody?
You know the thing.
Without
as
God.
Biden said, you know the thing,
Yeah.
right?
I say flying spaghetti monster bless you.
Science bless you.
Flying spaghetti monster.
Neil deGrasse Tyson bless you. That's what I say every time.
Chance bless you.
I think it's Frankie's
Frank's
turn.
up.
Oh, is number 6 me?
That's
Yeah.
you, man.
I wanted this one. I read this morning. I can't believe it. New Oregon law allows students to graduate high school even if they cannot read, write, or do math at the high school level. Now, why would such a governor sign such a thing? You're from Oregon, Ethan. What's going on?
They need to fight fascism. So
Is that-
you got to make sacrifices?
That's another way to fight
Is
fascism.
that
to
why?
battle against fascism of people praying.
Yeah.
Why burn books then if people can't read?
Right. It's an easier way.
It saves.
Just teach
that's
them not.
good.
Less
If
carbon
people don't-
emissions.
Exactly.
That's
Less
Okay.
carbon emissions.
That's what Kerry's been saying. He's been jetting all over the world in his private jet. Less carbon emissions.
People are reading like Jordan Peterson books, Thomas Sowell books. It's a real problem. So if we can just
just all
stop
books.
the reading,
Even the Bible.
yeah,
They're
Well,
reading that.
definitely.
definitely that.
And the Babylon B site, too.
That'll stop them from reading the far right misinformation site, the Babylon Bee.
That's right.
So yeah, this is great. So now if you show your high school diploma when you're applying for a job from Oregon, and it's like this guy's a person, it doesn't get to guarantee anything that you can do. Like it doesn't guarantee that you can read or write.
Look what it's the governor's deputy communications director said that suspending the reading, writing, and math proficiency requirements will benefit, quote,
This is so cringy.
read this. Read it. Go ahead.
That's so cringy.
Who's it going to benefit?
Oregon's Black, Latino, Latina, Latinx, Indigenous, Asian, Pacific Islander, tribal, and students of color.
How is it going to benefit them?
So wait,
Well,
I thought
isn't
so
there an
Latino,
implied
Latina, and
racism?
Latinx are all 3 different groups?
Latinx is supposed to
I
cover
thought that
Latino
covers it
and Latina.
all. And isn't it offensive to use Latino and Latina if you use Latinx?
That's the whole point
we
of
have
using
a-
Latinx.
Should we get a Latino consultant
Yeah, we
in
need
here?
a Latino consultant.
Jorge, get in here. Is Can he come in here?
Are you a
Yeah,
Latino, a
yeah.
Latino, or
Yeah,
Latinx?
yeah.
I would like to cede my time as a white man.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I will cede my,
Okay.
So, what's the deal with this? Latino, Latina, Latinx.
That sounds like a song.
Latinx, yeah. That encompass everything.
Latinx.
That's everything right there.
Yeah.
So you'd be better off if you couldn't read, according to the Oregon governor.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'm better
said
off
no
because
standards.
I'm less capable than everybody else.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is.
Okay.
All right.
With a little bit more melanin, and
Yeah.
then we're less capable, and that's now it's a trend. So I guess I just ride the wave.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy for
I'm
your
glad
people.
that you didn't have me before I joined the organization to write an essay. 'Cause
Oh,
I would
yeah,
have
you-
been left out.
Yeah, you couldn't do it. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we won't make you spell anything.
Well, I'll tell you, we taught this guy to read just so he could read the Babylon B-side. That's why. Thank you. We had the official Latino Latinx.
Can we just a moment
Consultant.
of like applause for our Latinx?
Yes.
Thank
A
you.
brave.
It's really
Latinx.
brave.
Thank
That
you,
was.
everybody.
Now then it says Indigenous Asian, which I think are different, and then but the Pacific Islander, tribal. Wait, indigenous. Okay, Pacific Islander.
They're just covering all their bases.
but they're
That's what
There's a
they're-
lot of bleed over going on. Right?
There is.
Right. They're covering
Especially
all
the
their bases.
Latino Latinx. Latino Latinx. Latino Latinx. If I could speak Spanish, that'd be a
Yeah.
great song. Got anything? No.
Now, you had to have hurt somebody's feelings doing that, Ethan. I mean, come on.
I'm trying to write a cultural song. Okay,
All right.
let's just move on.
All right.
Uh,
We can't read.
that's true.
How can we move
Kyle
on?
can read.
Kyle can
he,
read?
He went to public school in Oregon. I didn't.
Yeah, that's
right.
true. I did.
Okay, you read this next one then.
Craziest video ever. A hawk swoops down and catches a rabbit, and then a deer rushes out and rescues the rabbit by stomping the hawk to death. What in the actual heck? I assume that's how that headline was written and intended to be read.
I think you will get the Oscar for this show.
Thank you.
Instead of Ethan.
Yeah. The new, it's a new live-action Bambi? Is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. It looks like Disney's remaking all their movies with real people and animals, real animals like
This will
Lion
be the
King.
live-action reboot.
Yeah, because it's a baby. It looks like Bambi and Thumper. So the hawk comes in, takes Thumper, Bambi jumps in, and I love these deer because they're not meant to do anything but kind of walk around. So when they start attacking, it's just like it's like one of those weird like punching dolls or whatever. Like they just start flapping their hooves, and the thing just is stomping this hawk like a thing that goes like that.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
You got to think that's pretty embarrassing for the hawk. Like, it goes back and all the other hawks are just, a bunch of
Taken
crap.
out by Bambi, sucker.
That's right.
Where'd you get that bruise? Oh, I got in a real fight, But
So
it
is-
actually just got punched by a deer.
Punched
is
by
this,
a deer.
is this God, Satan, or evolution?
I don't know. That's a tough one.
That's why we have you here.
Oh,
You're supposed to be able to answer
everything's
all this.
evolution. I forgot. Everything's evolution.
Oh.
Because there is no God in Satan, right?
Well, you're supposed to tell us. That's why. you had him.
Oh. Okay,
Did
well,
we get the right Frank Turek? Cross-examined.
it's me.
The imposter.
It's me.
He lost his faith on
Yes.
the way here.
Hello.
He got
That's why I'm here.
witnessed to by an atheist on the
I
airplane.
got hit in the head outside by a deer. So,
Well, I guess I have to read the last one
what's the last one?
Yeah, this is perfect.
because I read all the Guinness World Records.
And this
All
one
right.
is. There's no one more well suited for Kyle
Oh,
here.
jeez. City of Kyle. So I'm on the record against
He hates
Guinness World Records because they're all stupid. Like, they're not. It's not running a mile in a certain amount of time. It's like, I can stack up M&Ms.
I ate 7 Cheetos
I
in
ate-
3
yeah.
seconds.
The city of Kyle, Texas, is attempting to gather a bunch of Kyles for a Guinness World Record.
And they're going to be at Lake Kyle, I believe.
Will you be there?
I should go.
Yeah, because that's what I don't know. Where are you going to go? Because they're asking Kyles to go. You could go there and document it.
So it's trying to get as many Kyles as possible to set a Guinness record at its annual Kyle Pie in the Sky Hot Air Balloon Festival. The city of Kyle's attempted to break the world record for gathering the most Kyles. Has to be spelled that way. In one place at the annual Kyle Pie in the Sky Hot Air Balloon Festival on Labor Day weekend at Lake Kyle.
Got so many Kyles. It almost sounds like, it's like Z Kyle. It's scary. the way
Z
it's-
Kyle.
It sounds bad. Z Kyle.
This is like a dad joke that just went too far.
That's
Yeah.
right.
This is the thing that is an outcropping of just Facebook and just the stupidity of.
Yeah, the meme culture just too far.
Because like I said, I've been a part of an Ethan Facebook group, and it's a large group of guys.
Just a bunch of Ethans.
Yeah, and they want to do all these meetings and stuff.
Yeah. I don't even want to meet up with people I like.
Yeah.
Why would I meet up with?
I've never met a good Ethan.
Same.
I think actually, I don't know if I'm just kidding. If I met you and you were Ethan. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to debating Frank Turek about God.
Oh, what? Whoa, Kyle, your shirt just suddenly changed. Crazy.
Yeah. I'm going to a Padres game after this.
Oh, cool. Is that a sport?
Yeah, it is a sport.
Oh.
Yeah, they play the stickball.
Okay, with the stick in the ball.
Yeah, it's like cricket.
With red threads in the ball.
That's the one.
That's the one. Okay.
But the problem is, all the good seats are in the vaccinated section.
Oh.
So, but I don't want to get vaccinated because I don't want to grow a third arm. So I'm going to wear my I identify as vaccinated T-shirt.
Guaranteed to work in any situation.
Guaranteed, 100% earn your money back.
So what I love about this shirt is that we work very hard on our jokes at Babylon B, and our one joke.
Well, yeah,
and this is our one joke, and it's been honed down to this.
This is the final form.
The final form
of the joke.
Have you monetized it before, or is this your first merchandise?
This is our first merch,
joke?
And we spend a lot of time trying to come up with good merch. And then our CEO was like, "Hey, you should just do a shirt that says identify as vaccinated." We did it, and it's like
it just sold like crazy.
Nice.
Made all of our money for this month just on this shirt.
Yeah, but they're still available.
Shop.babylonb.com. Check it out.
It's already being pirated by other companies and sold.
This logo has been stolen and sold all over the place, but buy the official one.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere you need to go. We have one's for men, one's for women, one's agender.
Coffee mugs, everything.
Hats, everything you need.
Face
and
mask.
If you're a premium Babylon B subscriber, you have a discount too.
Sorry.
Dang it, Ethan. If you're a premium Babylon B subscriber, you have a discount on your email that you can use. Discount code. So,
Don't discount that.
Anyway.
Okay.
I don't believe in God. I already told you.
Now, this is weird because you can see our questions.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Usually you shouldn't see our questions during this part. We will randomly select these.
Okay, go ahead.
So where do we begin, Kyle? Frank Turek is he's an apologeticist.
Yeah, that's
Or
the
apologist.
Yeah, sorry,
form.
but that's what I am. That's
Is
right.
Is it geticist or gist? Apologeticist? Apologist.
I think gist will do it.
Gist.
Just gets the gist to the gist
gist.
of it. That's right.
Okay.
So God created mankind. God created Satan, and he knew that, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, he knew that Satan would tempt Eve and Adam, and that it would be cast into sin. And then he knew that would one day lead to humanity creating TikTok. Can you defend that idea in Christian theology?
God allowed TikTok to be created because kids just don't have enough to do. There's not enough entertainment out there. So I guess TikTok was allowing God or allowing humans to create something that kids could be amused by and waste a lot of time. Although we're starting to put some videos up there. You
Yeah, I was going to ask. Are you
TikToking it?
No, we did 2 videos on there. We don't understand.
That's it? Yeah, we're just starting. So.
Do you wear a sideways hat and hold a skateboard?
Yeah, that's right.
And
It really gives me academic credibility when I do that.
when you do,
Yeah, and I go through the cosmological argument with the skateboard and the
while you
sideways hat.
dance and-
That's right.
Yeah. 'Cause that's all it is people dancing and making arguments and pointing at things on the screen. Like, oh, yeah. I want to see a Frank Turek TikTok dance now.
I may record one when I go down to the Kyle Guinness Book of World Records Balloon Festival.
Yeah, but you're not a Kyle.
Well,
Yeah, it would be, he'd be kicked out.
that's right. I wouldn't make it. But I could be your guest, Kyle.
No, that's true. I'll get a +1.
Why should someone who has never put much thought into faith reconsider and begin exploring religion? And why even start thinking about Christianity? I feel like that's in this culture.
Yeah,
a lot of
well-
people, they're just they didn't grow up around it. And they're just I don't even care.
What could be more important than eternity? I mean, if Christianity is true, and it is, what could be more important than that when you think about it, right? I mean, you're going to be dead a lot longer than you're going to be alive. You might want to consider whether or not it's true. And the older I get, the more I realize, man, this is so temporary, what we're doing here. I mean, Time's just flying in my life.
Right.
And seriously, I mean, why wouldn't you consider?
Why pick Christianity?
Well, because I think it's true. I think Jesus rose from the dead, right? There's only two facts you got to prove. God exists and Jesus rose from the dead. Those two things are true. Christianity's true. I mean, mere Christianity, the essentials of it.
What would your advice be to somebody who's like, I've never really thought about faith at all. I never thought it just didn't seem like a big deal. Mm-hmm. And now I'm thinking I should start thinking about it.
Yeah.
Where should they start?
Well, I would say look into the person of Christ, because there's nobody in the history of the world who has had that impact. And when you think about how could this guy who lived for 3 years in an obscure part of the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago, who never traveled more than 200 miles from where he grew up, never wrote a book, never led an army, never held political office, never did any of those things that we consider, hey, this is a big deal. Mm-hmm. How could he be the center of human history? Mm-hmm. How does that happen? In fact, I had a student once at the University of Maryland after I gave the I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist presentation. We're all kind of hanging out after it's over as an atheist. And he was talking about the New Testament, and he was really dissonant. And it seemed like he didn't even know what was in it. I said, have you ever read it? And he was flummoxed. He had never read it. I said, look, man, I don't care how old you are or where you're from or what your upbringing was. Jesus of Nazareth is undoubtedly the most influential human being in the history of the world. If you're going to call yourself a pursuer of truth, you got to at least read what he apparently said and did. I mean, you may read it and go, oh, I don't think it's true, but you got to at least read it. You know, you got to look into it. And he never did. So I think unbelief in many cases is not so much a matter of God's existence. It's a matter of our resistance. We don't want it to be true, right? We want to do our own thing. We don't want there to be a God because we want to be God over our own lives. And that's why I always ask people the question on the campuses, if Christianity were true, would you become a Christian? And many of them will say no, right? Because they don't want it to be true. Mm-hmm. God's getting in the way of my happiness, right? They're on a truth quest. They're not on a truth quest, they're on a happiness quest. So they're just going to believe whatever's going to make them happy.
Follow-up question: do you prefer the theatrical edition or the Snyder cut of the Justice League?
Ooh, Schneider cut. And Schneider cut.
The Rob Schneider.
The Rob Schneider cut. Yes. That's right. No, interesting. You should bring that up, Ethan, because my son and I, who is also a seminary grad, Ethan Kyle. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, Kyle.
But he just ignored my question and went back.
Yeah,
to
totally.
You.
I totally went back over here. Yeah. No. My son and I, who's also a seminary grad, he's in the Air Force right now, but he's also graduated from Southern Evangelical Seminary. We just completed a book called Hollywood Heroes, How Your Favorite Movies Reveal God. It's not going to be out till March of 2022, but we spent a fair amount of time looking at the Rob Schneider cut or the Zack Snyder cut. And because there's a lot in the superhero movies, because that's most of what we're doing, superhero movies that point to Christianity or at least theism. And so that's what the whole book's about.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to write a movie and be like, the whole theme of this movie is that your life is pointless.
That's right. Yeah, there's no meaning.
You can make a good, compelling narrative out of that.
Is a person who believes in free will predetermined to deny the doctrines of Calvinism?
I get that question so much about free will and predestination. And the truth of the matter is, just because God knows what you're going to do doesn't mean you don't have the free will to do it. Mother puts down her baby to go to sleep, and she knows at some point that night that kid's going to wake up. But her knowing it doesn't cause the baby to wake up. There's not necessarily a connection between knowledge and causation, but somehow people think, well, if God knows what I'm going to do, I don't have free will. No, you sure do. This is why Geisler, my co-author, wrote the book Chosen But Free. Of course we're chosen. He knows who's going to believe and who doesn't. And when he creates the universe, he knows how it's going to turn out. But that doesn't mean he's causing us against our will to either believe or not believe. We still have the free will to believe or not to believe. Just because he knows what we're going to do doesn't mean he's taking away our free will.
But God could have actuated a different universe.
He could have. And if that were the case, he would have elected that universe. Right. But he elected this universe with the free creatures in it. And people will say, well, why couldn't he create everyone to believe? Well, that might be logically possible, but not actually achievable. Because with free creatures, there's one thing God can't do. He can't force free creatures to believe in him. That would be, obviously, there would be contradiction. He can't force them. All he can do is provide them life and then see what they do. He knows what they're going to do, but he gives them the freedom to do so. Otherwise, you couldn't have love if everyone's just a moist robot, you know?
So when he like blinded Paul on the road to Damascus, Paul was just like, oh, you know, if you want, Paul, you can.
Well, Paul does say,
Why?
he said, I was not disobedient to the heavenly vision. So he could have turned away. He could have said, I don't care who you are, or I'm taking a different interpretation of this.
Now I want God to like come, you know, and do an altar call on the road to Damascus and like play the softly and tenderly. Please come forward, Paul.
That's right, Paul.
The
Please do
Armenian
it.
version. I
That's
like
right.
it.
Paul, just raise your hand. Close your eyes. Raise your hand. No, but you get older, you start to lose your train of
You know the thing.
the thing. Yeah, the thing. You know it. The thing. Come on, man.
Come on, Jack.
It'll come back to me later.
I mean, how about this just as a follow-up question?
Oh, no. I was here.
okay.
I got it now.
Okay.
Who was it? Some famous atheist said, well, I think it was Krauss who said, if God wrote in the sky my name or in the stars, I am here, I would believe. When it was another atheist, I think it was, may have been, I'm getting old. Who's the guy Atkins, the guy that invited Craig, that debated
Hitchens?
Craig a couple times. No, Atkins, not Hitchens.
The diet guy?
Peter Atkins. Peter, the diet guy. Yeah, he was
diet?
overweight and he was on the Atkins diet. And he didn't believe in God. No, he basically said if Jesus appeared to him, he would see a psychiatrist, right? He wouldn't think it was a real revelation. He would think he was mistaken somehow. He'd gone nuts, So I think many people who say, if God would only appear to me, I would believe, in reality, they'd probably go, no, I need to go see a psychiatrist.
So on the free will question, how important is it to know, people debate this like crazy, and I tend to go, well, if you have to act like you have free will anyway, maybe I'm just being lazy, but I tend to just back off and go, well, I don't know.
About free will?
About free will versus predetermination.
Well, it's both. Because when God elects to create the universe...
Why should I care so much about that question?
Well, I think you should care about it because it reflects the nature of God. Because if we don't have free will, then God's a divine tyrant.
Like, I know where I'm leaning, but
Yeah.
I lean more free will,
Sad.
but Kyle doesn't.
No, when people say I don't have free will, I ask them, did you freely come to that conclusion? And if not, why should I believe what you just said? If you're just a molecular machine and physics is just pumping out this thought that I don't have free will, why should I trust it?
It's God's authorship, right? That's what you'd say.
Are you arguing for me?
I'm trying.
He's arguing, yeah. Then God's the author of evil. He gives us the thought to sin, and we go and sin.
Let me just throw another follow-up question. Another direction. Do midgets have night vision?
Midgets have night vision.
Answer
I
the
found
question
some
first.
actual questions people have asked on the internet and I'm just throwing them in there now.
Where did that come from?
I'm sorry about my co-host.
That sounds like Larry the Cable Guy or something.
Do midgets have night vision?
That's right.
You don't have to answer that.
You're a small man to bring that question up.
If someone eats himself, would he become twice as big or disappear completely? I can't.
That's got to be a Stephen Wright joke.
I don't know. Are Catholics going to hell?
There we go.
This is
the real
easy.
question.
That's right. We're all going to hell if we don't accept Jesus, whether you claim to be Catholic, Protestant, Orthodox, Muslim, atheist. You got to accept Jesus as your Savior. So it's not where you go to church that determines whether or not you're saved. People say, do you think Catholics can be saved? I usually say, I even think some Baptists can be saved, right? If they trust in what Christ has done. That's how you're saved.
What about Methodists?
Can Helen Keller
What
be
about
saved?
them?
What if you're born,
Deaf, dumb, and blind?
yeah.
You're Tommy?
No one can ever tell you about Jesus.
But you did communicate, right?
She communicates. Take out Helen Keller.
Forget Helen Keller?
Yeah. Just get a guy who had his head glued into a motorcycle helmet as a baby. No. He can breathe somehow, but he can't talk or hear anybody.
These are exactly the questions I get on campus. This is very helpful, Ethan. Thank you.
So yeah, could he be like, oh yeah, maybe he He might not know the name Jesus, unless maybe, I don't know.
Well, it's the same kind of question we had people prior to Christ. They were saved by trusting in Yahweh. They didn't know the name of Jesus. The New Testament seems to indicate you need to know the name, but God is so loving that he wants to get everybody the name and will get people the name who want to believe. He's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. So God wants us to be saved more than we want other people to be saved. So I trust in the love of God on that. Nobody in the afterlife is going to go, God, I got a raw deal. I shouldn't be where I am. No, God's perfectly just and perfectly loving. So
can you be following the wrong text and yet? Now this, I'm not saying I'm just playing devil's advocate or something. I don't know what I'm doing. But like I do have this. I do wonder about this. If you're following, can you find, like, if a deaf, dumb, and blind person can find Christ, they don't know that that's his name or whatever. So they're probably coming with some concept of who this is, but they don't quite know. Can that happen in another faith? Can somebody who's, whether they're Mormon or maybe they're in Islam or they're following a different text, is it possible that when they are...
It's philosophically possible, but theologically, just like, because it's philosophically possible that you can... Geisler used to say,
the person they're praying to, maybe it's Jesus.
Well,
this happens at the end of the Narnia books.
Yeah, that's right. This is kind of a thing that C.S. Lewis is kind of like.
Yeah, that's when I burned all my Narnia books when I read that part.
When you said that was it.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's philosophically possible that you can benefit from a sacrifice that you didn't know about. You could enjoy a steak not knowing the cow that was sacrificed for you to enjoy the steak, right? But theologically, the New Testament makes the claim over and over again that you need to know the name. And really, this is a moral question. It's saying that God is somehow immoral if he doesn't accept everyone. Well, if people truly want to know God, they will seek out and get the gospel in order to be saved. In fact, Paul says in Acts 17, when he's talking to the Athenians, he says, God has so prearranged the world. He said that he's appointed the times and places where people should live so that people would find him or should reach out to him and find him, though God is not far from each one of us. So he seems to be indicating that God has so prearranged the world that those who truly want to seek him will find him. I mean, we know people that hear the gospel and don't believe it, right? We know our friends and relatives. They know it, but they don't believe it. It could be that those who never hear the gospel wouldn't have believed it anyway. Right? I mean, that's certainly possible. And so, again, I rest in the love and justice of God that nobody in the end is going to go, I got a raw deal. If only this had happened, I would have become a believer. No.
Okay, I'm going to list some animals, and I want you to tell me if you could beat them in an unarmed fight. They surveyed men and women, and then they divided it by nationalities, too, to see which people thought they could beat these animals in a fight. And I'm curious where you land on this scale. So I'm not going to do all of them, but a house cat. Can you beat a house cat in an unarmed?
A house cat. Well, house cats are demonic.
That's true.
You have the power of the Holy Spirit.
I would use a crucifix on the house cat, probably.
But answer honestly. You're dropped into an arena, a house cat, unarmed. Can you beat it? And can you kill it?
Can I kill it?
Yeah.
This is
I'm going to get a lot of hate mail if I start killing house cats.
Well, I'm not saying you're actually killing
This is the Hitler of house cat.
hypothetical.
It's a fascist house cat.
Yeah, it did something really bad.
It voted for Trump.
It voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Wow.
But its vote went to Biden.
I could probably take the house cat.
Okay, all right.
I probably could.
Medium-sized dog.
Like a collie
what
or
kind of
something?
dog?
I don't know. Is there
What's a medium-sized dog?
Yeah.
Like a collie or something like that?
collie?
I probably could. Yeah, Lassie I could probably take.
Okay, large dog.
No.
St. Bernard?
You don't think you'd be a large dog?
No, not like a pit bull.
Okay, 23% of Americans think they could beat a large dog.
Yeah.
King cobra.
King cobra. No thanks. I'd run from that.
Okay, kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Yeah.
You can't run. You got to fight it.
You have to fight. You're locked into an arena.
You're locked in.
You have like death.
Kangaroos are like boxers, aren't they?
You're handcuffed to each other.
We looked this
Wow.
up. Only one
Even the
person's
snake.
ever been killed by a kangaroo.
Oh, okay. I guess I could then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Two more. Gorilla
A gorilla, no.
and elephant.
I'm locked into an elephant. No, he's going to squash me.
Almost 10% of Americans believe they could beat an
They
elephant.
could beat an elephant.
Which I believe. I totally believe that
American
number.
Yeah,
resilience.
yeah.
Only 2% of British people think they could beat an elephant. And that's why we won the American Revolution.
That's it?
All down the line,
that extra
American
8%.
people had more confidence than all
Americans
the,
were more confident in every single
every
fight.
single fight. Yeah,
Sometimes like 5 times more confident.
because we got the Lord on our side.
You were a little less confident.
Well, if you said pig, I would have said yeah, because I'd have gone for the bacon,
Yeah.
right? Because bacon makes everything delicious.
You
Grab them
just
by the bacon.
Eat the bacon
Yeah.
out of it right there while it's squealing.
Yeah, bacon could make roadkill.
Just
taste
reach
good,
in and-
so
I don't know
that's
what makes
right.
it good. I don't like eating it raw,
bacon.
good,
Yeah, you got to cook it. You're right.
Yeah.
especially if it's pulsing.
That's
I don't know,
raw and wriggling.
wriggling bacon. Kevin Bacon's brother.
I saw them open for MXPX. Okay, what do we want to do? Do we want? We're getting close to the end of our
We're gonna
free
We have
portion.
so many more questions.
Do we want to do the rapid fire questions about God on Google? Or we want to save that for the subscriber portion?
They're pretty deep, but we could try. We
Do
could
it.
do the Google questions on.
The
We
Google
still
questions.
got some love mail and stuff too.
Yeah, we looked up the top Googled questions about God, so you can answer all the internet's questions
Oh,
about God.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah, let's do the rapid fire answer all the questions
Okay.
on Google about God.
Here are your questions, people of the internet. Top questions about God on Google. Number 1, is God and Jesus the same person?
Well, God has 3 persons, right? Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So Jesus is a person in the Godhead. But God the Father and Jesus are 2 different persons. They share the divine essence, though.
That was an easy one for you.
Yeah, that was easy. How about this one though? Is God of War on PC or Xbox?
Is God of
That was the second "is God" question.
is God of War on PC?
I think it's on PlayStation, actually.
Thank you, Kyle.
Also, it's asking if it's coming to
He
other
knows.
platforms.
He
Yeah.
knows.
I can answer that one. Is God a woman?
Is God a woman? Negative, but he's not a man either in the sense that he doesn't have man parts. Jesus as a human being has man parts because he has 2 natures. He has a divine nature and a human nature. So in his human nature, he's a man.
I've heard people say that the word for Holy Spirit sometimes is feminine. Is that fact check true or fact check false? Frank check.
Frank check.
Frank check don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sad.
to be frank.
Here's a new one. Why does God allow suffering?
Why does God allow suffering?
You have 30 seconds.
30 seconds. God allows suffering because we have free will, and with free will, we can love, but we can also do evil. And when we do evil, God can ultimately redeem it. He allows suffering because if he stopped suffering every time that we exercised our free will, we truly wouldn't be free now, would we? And of course, suffering can be redeemed. Suffering can help us grow. Suffering can build character in us. Suffering can do quite a bit of good, obviously. It can also do quite a bit of bad, depending upon your attitude toward it. And of course, the beauty of the Christian worldview is that it really is the answer to evil and suffering. That's what Christianity is all about. What's the solution to evil and suffering? God comes to earth, adds humanity to his deity, and takes it on himself. So when people ask, if God, why evil? The answer is Christianity. Christianity explains all that and solves it.
Why does God love us?
Because we're made in his image, meaning we're his representatives, and he's a God of love. So he loves what he creates.
Why does God not answer prayers?
Because sometimes our prayers are stupid. Right? Because,
Well, not.
But what about
somebody
the not
praying
stupid
for their sick
yeah.
child or something?
right. No, yeah, there are prayers that we don't always know why God doesn't answer the way we want them to, but we know why we don't know why, because we're stuck in time and God sees the entire end from the beginning. And due to the ripple effect, something that we see now, like say, tragically, a child dies, and we go, why does a child die? Well, we know why children die in general because we live in a fallen world. But why did that particular child die? I don't know. But maybe the ripple effect, which happens after any event occurs, can ultimately bring forth great good. Maybe a child dying today ripples forward through centuries. So 500 years from now, a great evangelist arises and saves hundreds of people, partially because of the suffering or evil event that took place here. So God can bring good from evil, even when we can't see it.
Why do Christians call Jesus the Christ?
Because Christ means anointed one, and he is the anointed Savior. He's the Messiah.
Is Jesus more powerful than Zeus?
than Zeus, yes, because Jesus is the creator, and if Zeus exists, he was created by Jesus. But of course, he doesn't exist.
But he's got the lightning.
He does. He does have the lightning.
Are people who claim to talk to God insane?
Only if they can't read because they went to school in Oregon.
Can God speak to me using the voice in my mind?
Can he speak to you? Can the Holy Spirit speak to you using the voice in your mind?
Am I talking to myself or is the Holy
Yes,
Spirit?
How
Yeah.
can you tell the difference?
Yes.
The one that sounds like James Earl Jones. That's good.
No, Morgan
It
Freeman.
sounds like God right there. Yeah, I think God can prompt you to do certain things, but if it is contrary to the scriptures, it's not from God, it's from the other side. My friend Greg Kokel, you guys know Greg, wrote
Oh, he has a
Tactics
great
and all
essay
that.
on that. Yeah.
He does.
He's our second favorite.
Does God
apologist.
Whisper? Yeah, Does God Whisper? Check out
Yeah.
his on his website. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Can free will exist without the existence of God?
Can free will? Nothing can exist without God because God is the ground of all being. So there wouldn't be anybody to be free.
Trick question.
Well, I think there's this argument like that if the universe just spontaneously got set into motion, then there is no free will because you're just the result of
'cause
the
it's all-
explosion.
we're still just all the particles falling down a cosmic staircase and accidentally.
Yeah, well, you'd have to come up with some sort of emergence theory for consciousness then and say somehow
Chemical reactions.
that everything can't be chemical reactions because if everything is chemical reactions, then they're just chemical reactions. They're determined. They're not, there's no freedom. And so one of the problems I think atheists have is that intuitively they know they have free will. Intuitively they know that love is a good thing. Intuitively they know that justice exists. They just have no way of justifying any of those things. Because if we're just molecular machines, how do any of those immaterial realities exist? So what we're doing as Christians is we're saying we have this effect that we call consciousness. We have this effect that we call justice or love. We have these effects, and what we're reasoning from is effect back to cause. That's how we know God exists. We take the effects and we say these effects are best explained by a cause known as God. So we're reasoning from effect to cause. So when people say, how do you know God exists? I say because God is explained by his effects. You look at the effects of the creation, that's the effect is the creation, so the cause is a creator. Effect is design, you look at the cause of designer. Moral law written on the hearts, the effect. The cause is a moral law giver. So we're reasoning from effect to causes, which is what scientists do. You know, science just is a search for causes. That's what we're doing. We've got all these effects, so how do we explain them? Now, I know they're going to come up with the God of the gaps argument and all this, but there's no God of the gaps argument for, say, the creation of the universe because there was no natural law that could have created the universe because natural laws were created with the universe. That's the whole point. It's got to be something outside the universe that brought it into existence.
I'm going to need you to calm down, Frey.
I can't.
We're going to move on to
too excited.
Now that all your answers have
Wait.
been questioned.
If Batman's parents are dead, how was he born?
This isn't on the internet. This is just
Batman's parents were killed when he was a young man. You know, by what's that villain's name in there? It's in our
Well,
book.
That was just a mugger.
it's just a random mugger. Yeah, in most
It's a random mugger.
most
Did
Yeah.
they connect it at some point? They can't help themselves.
He was 10
these
years
writers.
old. He saw it.
some of the
Yeah.
some of the versions it's one of the villains, but
sneak
it's
in.
actually just it's just a mugger. All right, we're going to do some love mail and some hate mail.
Oh yeah.
Love mail and hate
close
mail.
out the show.
Beautiful.
All right,
I think we just have love. Oh, we have love and hate.
we usually do hate mail, but we decided to start with love mail this time because we actually got our first nice message in months.
Love mail, baby.
Someone messaged our CEO, Seth, and said, "The bee has been with me as I began my walk. I am now saved and in a church I love. Thanks."
From the Babylon Bee.
So
They're not technically saying we had anything to do
They
with
didn't say that we got saved, that we saved them,
it. Right.
but
We've been with them.
we were part of it.
We're there.
I'll take it.
Sure. We get half point, half credit.
People will ask me like, "Has the Babylon Bee ever converted anybody?" I'm like, I have no idea. But now I can say yes. One.
You get 1/2 point.
If it saves one soul, it's all worth it.
It's worth doing.
Yeah.
If it destroys one fascist.
All right, let's do some hate mail now.
I really miss Adam Ford.
That's enough of the touchy-feely stuff.
Ooh.
This is from Shelley.
And Frank gets to read this one.
Oh, okay.
Shelley.
In your best Shelley voice.
Yeah, you get to be Shelley.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I can find Shelley.
See
It's
if you
way
can
down
find it.
under all the questions.
Oh, way down. Oh, Shelley. I see Shelley. Oh, wow. This is...
Baptist modesty
here's-
post.
yeah.
Do we need any background on this?
I think we did a post about the Olympians having new Baptist uniforms the floor length denim skirt.
Okay.
That's it? Okay. Here, in regards to your Baptist Modesty post, going after Christians. Now, are we? Pathetic. It's one thing to go after politicians because they signed up for this scrutiny, but Christians get a bad rap from liberals as it is. You're sending a terrible message out to women who feel personally convicted, like myself, that modesty is a laughable, ridiculous idea. I would never wear a long denim skirt, but I see the message you are sending, and it is unfortunate.
I like that she's like, don't make fun of the denim skirts. I'd never wear one.
That's it.
But still.
It was just another instance of people not getting it, not getting where we're coming from.
Yeah, because I don't know that we're Christians.
Yeah. Every once in a while I'll see those posts like, oh, you went communist.
I like every time we post it, we joke about Christians. Someone will say like, "Why do you guys never joke about Muslims?"
Yeah.
We're like, I don't know. We're making fun of ourselves. I also like this implication, like, well, politicians signed up for scrutiny, but not Christians.
No.
You become a Christian, you don't sign up for any scrutiny.
Kind of scrutiny.
No persecution, nothing.
no.
Everything's supposed to
That's
be
not part of the deal.
It's supposed to be your best life now. You know that.
Yeah. Well, we love you, Shelley, and sorry that we made fun of the denim skirt that you also hate. We're going to move on to our subscriber lounge now, where we're going to do some cool stuff. We got the bonus 10 questions for Frank Turek and some bonus hate mail, and we're going to read some subscriber submitted headlines.
Hey, before the subscriber thing, can I say one thing?
No.
You ought to subscribe. You really should.
Yes, you can
Can
say
you play
that.
some inspirational music behind this?
Yes, because if you actually subscribe, it means the Babylon Bee is uncancelable, right? You can't cancel the Babylon Bee if they have enough subscribers, right?
Keep going.
I keep going?
This is the inspirational
Okay.
music.
So
Can you give like a
It's
fascist speech?
a
where you
fascist
where you
speech?
slamming on the
subscribe to the Babylon Bee now. Will you send them one of these cups if they subscribe?
Actually,
to
right now
the-
they get a full-on book now.
They actually
They
get
get
a
a
massive,
full-on
beautiful book. Yeah.
A giant biblical book.
We used to send that out. I don't think any version has that now. I
Well,
think now they get the really... See, look at this amazing book they get.
You don't send that to
Big,
Oregon, do you?
giant hardcover.
Nobody
Not to Oregon. 'cause
Nobody
they can't
can read it. Nobody can read it.
If you're in Oregon,
Oregon.
we'll send you a mug instead.
Well, we
Yeah,
do,
let's
but
send
then
you a mug.
the mailman
That's
can't
right.
even find the mailbox because he can't read. So he's running around.
That's
"Oh,
right.
Put these over here, I guess.
No, really, subscribe because it's great stuff. You get a lot of free stuff behind the scenes, and you're helping the Babylon Bee continue despite what big tech says, despite what people who hate what they're doing says.
Well, personally, can I say something?
They didn't ask me to say that, by the way.
Can I
It's your
say
show.
something?
Go ahead. Yes.
I think you shouldn't subscribe to the Babylon Bee. I think you should support Cross-Examined instead.
That's it. That's right.
Crossexamined.org with Frank Turek.
That's right. Cross-examine.
Cross-examine.
All right, we're going to do our subscriber portion.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Coming up next for Babylon Bee subscribers.
A runaway trolley is heading down the tracks towards the Newsboys, who will be killed if the trolley proceeds on a spiraling course. You are on a footbridge over the tracks in between the approaching trolley and the Newsboy. Next to you on this footbridge are Ethan and Kyle.
God's not dead, but the Newsboys are. What can I say?
God's not F5.
So is it morally justified to kill Kyle and Ethan to save 5? Kill the lives of 2 to
Would
save...
you kill us to save the Newsboys? Is basically.
Wondering what they'll say next? The rest of this podcast is in our super exclusive premium subscriber lounge. Go to babylonbee.com/plans for full-length ad-free podcasts. Kyle and Ethan would like to thank Seth Dillon for paying the bills, Adam Ford for creating their job, the other writers for tirelessly pitching headlines, the subscribers, and you, the listener. Until next time, this is Dave D'Andrea, the voice of the Babylon Bee.